The war between Army Chief Abdel Fattah al-Burhan and his former deputy, RSF Commander Mohamed Hamdan Dagalo, has claimed at least 3,000 lives and displaced more than 3 million people since it began on April 15th. In light of this apparent divide that has led to the disunity in Sudan, the chairman of the AU, Moussa Faki Mahama, has called on Africa as a continent to look for homemade solutions. Moussa adding that in order to solve our individual and collective problems, we must first come together united.
We need to mobilize humanitarian aid and bring the Sudanese themselves in an inclusive dialogue in order to come up with a civilian government that will be able to implement an emergency economic, humanitarian and security program, and as soon as possible.
The RSF has made no comment on returning to the Jeddah talks, which Saudi and US mediators adjourned last month after a series of repeated violated ceasefires. This follows the delegation in Saudi Arabia signaling a returning to diplomatic efforts by the army after it boycotted talks in Addis Ababa last week. Ms. Amina Mohamed, Deputy Secretary of the UN, called on the creation of African solutions to African problems, cautioning Africa on our overdependence on outside nations.
It is this unity that we must draw from on the depths of Africa's turbulent history, but also our shared values and a sense of common purpose. Ultimately, Excellencies, it is Africa's very dignity that is at stake for us and future generations. In the words of late Kwame Nkrumah, who inspired Agenda 2063, I quote, "We in Africa, who are pressing now for unity, are deeply conscious of the validity of our purpose. We need the strength of our combined numbers to protect ourselves from the very real dangers of colonization returning in disguised forms."
Kamunya Mwangi, TV 47.